Alrighty, guys. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome on in. I was very meh about what to do today, so we're just gonna go with this since it's, a continuation. I didn't necessarily want to start anything new. Yo, it's good. Shame the Golden Reptile really doesn't stand out a bit more, but it's okay. What do we got today? We got some more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Again, didn't necessarily want to start anything new. We are in the middle of case 3. We've got the murder of a hat maker. Was he a hat maker? No, he was a mason. That's his last name is Mason, duh. There's so much talk about hats, I'm like, I just couldn't remember, so. Got the murder of Mason in the coach. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. So people were getting charged one more than they should have been. The middle witness had debts to the accused. And the big thing we found out was nobody actually saw the moment of the crime. And what they did witness with the 2 bloody hands on the assailant does not match up to the gloves. Of the accused, so let's continue this. 18th February, 12:52 p.m. The Old Bailey defendant's antechamber. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. Mr. Sato. I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of things ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before too long. I do actually need to read her. We'll do just a half a second more because I have been kind of slow, which is fine. Okay. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. Hi, May. How's it going? A young girl? And could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilda was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded actually? That's who it was. There's so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions. Along with the young girl. Yeah, doing good. I managed to record the video I needed for a pseudo marathon that I signed up for next Friday. I don't want to say I was volunteered. That's not the right thing to say, but I was asked by Veggie, who I know from Tarzan speedrunning, as well as I skipped a line accidentally. Along with he started one of the Rugrats games to run because it's available on the NES. So the theme of this event was just baby games, because the person that hosts this monthly thing, him and his wife just had a child recently. So they wanted to make the month's games list consist of, you know, games with babies or toddlers. So Veggie reached out to me and was like, "Hey, search for Reptar." I'm like, okay. I had so many issues recording it last night, and I had a run that, you know, I could have sent, but I'm like, I don't like this run. Why am I getting... I'm getting audio every time a message gets... Can you send another message? I know it sounds silly, but I'm paranoid right now. Why? Okay, yeah. It's fine now. So this toggle... I want to see if it does it for me. Right. Yeah, it does. Oh, so if you're really bad at paying attention to chat... No, it's just an alert thing with Streamlabs, which is interesting. I've always had it off, so I never noticed it. Okay, but let's get back to the game. Yeah, I hope everybody's well. I'm not too bad today. I was better before I ate because, once again, my throat, it just sucks, and I need to stay away from, like, this one particular food, but I whatever. It's basically like a biscuit is what's causing my issues. Alright, so along with the young girl. So this is through Streamlabs, not just... So it's through the bot, it's not through Twitch directly. So maybe a lot of people just use Stream Elements. The one time I looked at Stream Elements, I didn't care for the gamble stuff that I had available, so. All right. Well, let's try to continue on with the story. I do. All right. So, who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh yeah, the extra fare, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's... This is, just so you know, for Streamlabs, it's within, like, the alert, like, live feed thing. Where it actually shows, you know, follow, sub, all that. Alright. The 20 pence. Hmm? Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo. Yeah, absolutely no worries. I appreciate you being here. Well, thanks for letting me know my bot is broken as well. He took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. The bot is extremely broken. It might just be time to do a on and off. Oh, it wasn't even turned on. That's weird. It should work now. Yeah, perfect. Alright, I'm looking at my own stream. Oh wait, I need to be the one providing entertainment. Congrats on first May. Alright. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. Oh, autoplay. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato. Yes. Alright, the 18th of February, 1 o'clock p.m., the Old Bailey Courtroom. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord? I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army? What in devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord? Yes, Mr. McGilded. I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why it is that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to boat like that. 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. Oh, my actual mic is just kind of down, but I think it should be fine, right? On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorla, a loud thud and a wee scream broke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. There I turned to find where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. Well, from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct? 'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the 5th passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Alright. Well, where we start is by literally just pressing everything. Promptly nodded off. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. I see. Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by in the back seat? By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel the most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Why is it getting like Italian? I'm losing the like Irish, Scottish, whatever I'm trying to do. It's getting lost in the sauce. A loud thud, you say? In a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well, now you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage, but the fella on the floor. You didn't see anyone? You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment, you did hear a scream. Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume. Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by that desperate sight before my eyes. Alright, fellow collapsed on the floor at me, feet. Sat him up on the seat across from me. You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Ah, Lord Van Six, now why would that be? You wake to find a dead man laying at your feet in the carriage, and a normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. Business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest? Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do strive, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself entangled with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no. I was always intended to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Trying to find out where that's screaming from. What's my soul? What did I find? I'm afraid I don't understand. Are you sure you told the court there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim? So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well, now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious! Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. And that's when I found her. There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Hold it! You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. Oh, you're really overacting this. Still in all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the gentleman there. Dead gentleman there. You set this young girl next to a corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in a precarious position. Is that what it was? In mortal danger. So I needed to find out just who the surgeon was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who's sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you all again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, you must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with a knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witness did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGilden. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason. Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage, out of sight. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl. After that, of course. With a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, and her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. what's commonly called a pickpocket. What? This girl here? A petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Ah! How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Ah! The girl, she's gone! Open your eyes! I'm over here! Good gracious, how? What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it? No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast... Look, knives are for cowards. All latex use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright. Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? Oh, this? Yeah, it was in the bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best. Ah! Do not wave that thing in my direction again! So... you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question? Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. Just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright, if I have to. What the girl saw. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin at it, and the scream just came out. It's because the swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you let the street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. think a demonstration is called for.
I think a demonstration is called for.
This is where I sat that night.
And the cubbyhole of which you've spoken is underneath this seat, I presume? Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature.
Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration.
Ah!
So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police had found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question?
Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of the less fortunate. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman.
Oh, my lord! This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir.
With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty.
Mr. Naruhodo, this... well, it must mean... It must mean what? Dude. That we're victorious. We've... won? Are you sure?
Objection!
If the sight of my Iron Heel Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day.
Ocean.
The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean, his true nature?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good lord. The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilden's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from
X200301 Reptor Vibe.
Queen, what's good? Hope you're well. Thank you so much for the sub. Caught me off guard a bit. My club out was turned off. That's all it was. From the other day. you're doing well though. I actually see the problem is I started so late that this is usually my break time. So I'm only like 44 minutes into the stream ish. And it's quite loud. I know it was kind of loud. But yeah, this is like around my usual break time. So I'm just gonna do like a 1 minute stop so I can use the bathroom. Thanks everybody that's been here so far. Thank you again, Queen, for the sub. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Apologies for that. All right. But yeah, I hope you guys are all well. Yeah, today was I don't know what to do day, so just better off continuing something I'm working on rather than try to start something new today. I'll probably start something new on Monday. I'll decide at that point what it actually is. So, all right.
Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, Council? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies in the constabulary in allowing this to have happened.
Cupcakes. Odor. What is? I don't know what that means. Hey, I'm sorry.
However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend?
Me?
When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead! You tell the court now, fella. Oh, this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks.
Well, counsel, you have something to say on this matter?
Game of Thrones. Okay, that's why I have no idea. How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? I don't remember it being empty. No spoiling it. Oh, I don't care. I think I watched the first 2 episodes because my sister was really into the books. I think I watched the first 2 episodes and I was just like, this is not for me. It's not really interesting to me, so it's not something I'll watch. All right. It was not, it definitely had stuff in it. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least, when I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure, counsel?
Allah be whist. What are you saying now, you daft daw? I thought you were on my side here. The ending of the, yeah, that's the one thing I am aware of. I think I know how it ends. I think I remember hearing it because I'm like, I'm never gonna watch it and this doesn't really matter to me. Anyways, if I do see, like, if I see anything of it. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the men in the stand.
Why would you say something to compromise his position?
As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible.
Interesting.
'Tis not altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Oh hell, don't forget it. You're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? Why do I feel like something's not right here?
I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think.
That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times, so it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick! Of course it's a trick. Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work. What the girls saw cross-examination. Snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run. Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a Joey to make you feel Bobby? That's our idea, isn't it? I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense.
Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants.
Well, Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. Already paying passengers at 5 piece a pence, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And what a little scapegrace riding for free. The red conk of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? That's when I slip into the carriage and get myself in under the seat. Nice and easy, right?
But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach, no?
Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much.
And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. Thought I can tell you.
It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
But this is that's right, we'll waste time, nothing to show for the troubles.
Hold it!
A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own in the guard permit, at least some of the time.
I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit?
Oh yeah, well that's what my kind call it. You say the omnibus, I suppose. Point is, any normal around the carriage ain't got one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it, only that night. This cove was set on me from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. Was totally stuck.
Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin?
Yeah, right, mister. To be sure, I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. I'll tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in the hiding place. It's pitching there. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and look out the crack. Then again, I have a butcher's at who I'm going to fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. A seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? But most of the time, the passengers plant themselves the opposite. But for some reason, that night this here Irishman spent the whole journey over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. See? Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feel too much like being thrown in the clink. That's the only place to hide him in the carriages, so it's Upson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared. I had to just stick it out under there, nothing else for it. Then, after a while, I hear a long, loud bang.
Hold it!
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Goodman, I suppose. Don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily? That's right. I felt the cushion over me, I'd get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes?
Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment?
Yeah, I saw it. Ugh. I pushed up the cushion and adequate butchers while I had the chance, didn't I? Irishman was sitting up the bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilder's account, of course. But then the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should never have risked looking. It's because of that this Sweller found me. He did help me get my mind.
Hold it!
And when Mr. McGilder discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff I was. He dragged me out and sat me on the seat, down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. And the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. Oh, how awful. Both me hands got covered in blood. Made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passenger saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilder for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume.
Well, I didn't want to have no one see my face, so I didn't look up. Then the officers were drawn up smartish and this Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. Ah, no. No, you don't do that. Thank you. You beat me to it. Alright. Internal hemorrhaging. It's so prolonged. Oh my god, really? Alright, so he has a handle, it seems. This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right in here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Are those just the latches? They have to be just, right? Oh, no. Space doesn't exist. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this blood stain is so obvious, that's all. And yet, Van Zieks had made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? I think I already did that one. It's blood that soaked into the seats, the victims obviously. Yes, and then blah blah blah. It's after dark, lamp on in here. I already did that one before. So I don't know if I ever actually explored the other... Oh my gosh, why? Just let me out of here. I really want to know what happened with this button. Waste of time, nothing on a shelf for my troubles. Can't see a blind thing in that high place. Kato was good. Hope you're doing well today. Appreciate the lurk. And for a while, I hear the loud bang. Would be. So what? Hmm. Oh my god. Hmm. So my thought process right now is I wonder if she has that button thinking it was a coin. Alright, couple things I could try. Present the knife.
Objection.
No. Okay, obviously not right.
I'm sorry, Council, but I fail to see the connection.
Oh. Yeah.
And for heaven's sake, would you kindly desist from that wide-eyed, panic-stricken look you are wont to wear?
That's the only panic-stricken look I know. I already saw that, but I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah. information. No matter where I clicked, it's always the same.
Objection.
Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we?
What implications, Counsel? Nothing strikes me about it.
Exactly. There's nothing striking about it.
What does strike me is your propensity for the inane, however.
I need to clear my head and come at this again from a different angle. So what's the hint I get from Susato here, really? All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. One brief shining moment, yes. But that they're all still very unsure. We could just find some piece of evidence among this new testimony. Sure, we would clinch the verdict we want.
Objection.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Let's consider the implication of that statement for a minute.
What implications, Counsel? Nothing strikes me about it.
Yep, we've already done this. Propensity for the inane, and we are dead.
Thank you, Counsel, that will do. I've seen enough. According to the powers vested in me by Her Majesty the Queen, I declare no further examination necessary. As such, I shall be requesting the final decisions of the members of the jury. Are you all ready, Mr. Foreman?
Straightly, my lord.
Straightly, my lord. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will announce your findings to the court in turn, please.
Guilty.
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 I hereby find the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, guilty. I thank the good ladies and gentlemen of the jury for their swift and insightful contemplation. That is all. The court is adjourned. This court is adjourned.
Excuse me. We're at this testimony.
Hold it.
Okay, is there something in here? So there's gotta be...
Hold it!
something I missed with this.
Hold it!
The problem is he's straight faced the whole time. And it's like I need to figure out where it is. He's just the same. He's no different. His demeanor hasn't changed at all.
Hold it!
Hmm. Oh my gosh, I literally don't see anything. What am I missing here? Literally, what am I missing here?
Hold it!
So where?
Excuse me.
Mm, what am I looking for? That just for the seats up here? Thing out of place. I might need to look this up. Every now and then I get one thing where I literally just can't figure it out.
Hold it!
I'm trying to find anything that gets a reaction from the other witness. I'm just not seeing anything.
Hold it!
Oh my gosh.
Well, no.
Why? Why did it only work this time? Why?
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. And I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade. Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But Jabez, there's no need to tell all well me foibles, you little scamp. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important.
Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it.
I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please.
What supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. It won't work on me. That's right, insult the judge. Always a good move. I was straining my ears to look up what was going on, but all I could hear was Nolan.
Hold it!
So, you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time? Since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the curtain up and have a butcher's look to see what was what. But then when I saw the swell getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me. Mr. McGilda sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah, weren't you Adam and Eve? What a mug. So all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, you see? Would he? Not likely. Even though we stopped there and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his base in the market, snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? Doesn't add up. Cause if there wasn't any noise after he got on, how did the other person get on the carriage? Miss Lestrade, what you've just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Ah.
At odds? Are you sure, man?
Absolutely. Excuse me. Oh gosh.
It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared.
So Van Zieks realized it too.
Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least.
Yes, my lord.
I expect you to demonstrate these alleged contradiction to the court.
According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilda snoring. But think, Reynosuke, think! Something else she should have heard. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person.
Take that!
Thrice-fired Mason.
Yes, my lord. A sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear. It's that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus.
Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel.
Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person aboard the omnibus was Mr. McGilded? That it was. Not a soul in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for the swell to leave. In which case... when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? Oh! We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabinet of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did, or did not hear, is at odds with the facts. Ah!
Yes, this petty thief statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statements.
It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend.
What are you talking about?
You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more.
He said right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this girl is a pickpocket. Let's not forget that. Ah! She didn't even say anything. I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she has some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars.
And neither can I!
Mr. Foreman.
I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars.
Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty.
Well, your consideration for others is refreshing me, beneath friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing.
Ah! God, what are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless sister and madame? This is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going... I know. Can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilder's innocence. The judge will rule and will have lost. I very much wanted to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen. But... those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, It may shed an entirely new light on this whole case.
What are you saying?
Counsel! Sorry, sir. What do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus?
There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. There's another entrance. Clearly, he was in there already from beforehand.
Objection!
Tell me, my learned friend, was a function of that clearly in your last sentence? Well said, Lord Manzeeks. The clearly is troubling me also.
No. That's really not the point. The point is that the victim must have been in the carriage from beforehand.
Then answer me this. By beforehand, to what specific point in time are you referring?
Well, clearly,
I shall have to penalize the defense heavily for this irrelevant rambling.
I must learn to ramble more relevantly.
The penalty is evidently not heavy enough, judging from those beneath eyes. So I ask you again. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus?
Oh, two more options. Another entrance. Go for it. If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
That's not gonna be right. It was the last option. No!
I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furbished with the door. The other only has windows, fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there's no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
But there could be. It's one possibility you haven't considered.
Oh, really?
Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, these of which allow the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin.
Alright, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here's the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim enter the cabin?
I can't double click. I need to do that. The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight.
I say, the skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However,
Objection!
The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
so you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory?
Both Mr. McGilden and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor.
Yes, which has already been explained. As the sound of the victim falling from his seat, having been assaulted with the dagger.
Yes, it has. But would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact?
Good gracious!
Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylights into the cabin. That's simply impossible.
How can you be so sure?
Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person has made mention of such events in their testimony.
Well, yes, that's true, but might the humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGilden? To be sure now, the two fellas who were sat on the roof that testified for said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but tis a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my, oh goodness, surely not.
Those two chaps on the roof. You mean the ones who stuck that knife in the man were...
Ah!
Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer?
You rotter, he said, you rotter. What are you insinuating?
This is a flaming outrage. I've a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute.
It'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I. Mr. Fairplay.
You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker.
And me, a very angry hatter. He's the hatter.
Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's... I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms.
That's right. I protest too. About you, you rotten scoundrel. The Mad Hatter, basically.
Order! 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 This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once.
But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know.
My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof.
Accuse? I never intended to.
It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. We propose to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation.
I know I was rash to push this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify.
I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another.
If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo? The spectators in the public gallery are in a complete frenzy.
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord. You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony. In reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord.
I didn't come here for this. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keeping pushing forward. Oh gosh, hi. Keeping pushing forward. Refuting the accusation. I think we're gonna officially take a break here. We're at the 2-hour mark. I probably should rest my voice for a few minutes. So, thanks everybody that's been here so far. Yeah, get up from the screen, bathroom, water, whatever you need to do, stretch. And I'll be back in a couple minutes' time. See you then. Okay. Break time is over. We are officially back. Refuting the accusation. We were the only 2 people on that roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that. If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other one of us would have noticed?
In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
Skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine. How either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith.
That's right, you see. We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What?
According to investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings.
Ha! Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I do trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. Trial is going in our favor, really. So, why do I feel so uneasy?
Counsel to the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please.
Oh, yes, my lord. Alright. What do you got for the cross-examination? The third statement is like the one that I'm like the most concerned about.
Hold it!
So, you never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before?
Oh, Loom, no! Not once, never!
He never met the man before, he said. Never! And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir.
No, I imagine not.
You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the most connection to the gentlemen who were inside the cabin. I knew there was something wrong with this statement.
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing you for? Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection? That's right now, I wonder. Huh. What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay. It has been too long, so it has. Eh? If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe it is fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date.
I beg your pardon?
You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir.
At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion.
Well, now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes off to on another.
Ugh!
Oh, And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? Are there top hats lying about on your head? That's one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so 'tis. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers, such as Thrice-Fired Mason. Ah. There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence of fraud, my lord.
Hmm? This, you mean?
I can't help thinking that the board fetish hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Ow! That's one of my hats. That it is. So it would seem that Brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customized razor you could have had a wee core with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case.
You little weasel! Urgh. He's better at this than I am.
Gosh, Mr. Mikoda has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please don't let little interruption hold up the proceedings.
Oh, I got an achievement on that. Wait, I got an achievement? Wait. Hat Hunter, for having identified the milliner responsible for the victim's hat in episode 3 of The Great Ace Attorney Adventures. That's actually amazing. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna press this statement here. Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute.
He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said.
Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on the night.
So it is, of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it still and all.
What?
Just looking at the size of the thing, you'd understand.
Now hold on there a minute, sir. This side of the ting means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Stop biting our cane, shall we?
I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happens.
This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First.
Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is I tried to open the skylight, you see. But, just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as rouge, I did.
Are you expecting me to sentence you?
Oh, no, sir. The point is... See, I can't be open. I tried and tried when I was inside of that cabin of shame.
He just outed himself!
Excuse me.
He just outed himself with that. Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade. It opens. The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right?
All them skylights open dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon? That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, I... You can't do it from inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck on one of them drags. And I had a great... Oh. I mean, I had buses coming out my ears.
Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities.
Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. I lifted the last bloke's purse. It got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't up off the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used the skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck.
Bailiff! Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims. Ah!
Oh, my hat. See?
Order! 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 So it appears that the street girl's statement is quite true.
I don't believe it. Skylight opens from the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we've been looking for.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. And that is just what we'll do. Alright. So the skylight was fastened shut before. But now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Up. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Come on! Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. Look there, you idiots! So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. Oh my god, really?
Objection!
Let's just consider the implication of that statement for a moment, shall we? Too early.
What implications, counsel? Nothing strikes me about it.
Exactly. There's nothing striking about it.
What does strike me is your propensity for the innate, however.
Ugh. I need to clear my head and come at this again from a different angle. Okay, hold on. See, I just don't get why... Okay, that's just the roof
deck. Come on. Do I need to be inside when I look at it, maybe? Yeah.
Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo.
Why someone like me?
Ah,
What is it?
look, just here. Look at this. That's, without question, it's blood. Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it?
Details of the omnibus have been updated in the court record. Okay. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof? Here in this courtroom? Counsel. My lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell through the roof deck through the skylight. From the roof deck to the skylight. Bah. I already did this. Come on. Got it! By Jupiter, is that blood? This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my. And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No! Order! But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin.
and only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight. Sure, and that would be very convenient. Let's keep in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between those two seats, Mr. Fast? 'Tis all too plain, if ye see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so 'tis.
What? No!
But it can't be. It's all lies.
Lies! My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we?
I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they?
I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it.
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing.
On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, and what would you be referring to then now, Lord of Antiques?
A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void.
What? Why?
For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. Officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can say with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But are you suggesting, Lord Redix, that the stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session.
What? Well, evidence tampering here. What a palaver. I must say, I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. But a Magnus McGilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's a rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. Each time it happens, the case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts.
Adapt the facts? What does that mean? What does that even mean?
When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with the evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I trust your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir.
Tut tut, Lord Van Zeeks. This would not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel?
Huh?
No. I think it's fair to say it all does sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if your soul will cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put the smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, Counsel?
It's true.
During the commotion with the smoke bombs, Omnibus has been in full view the entire time that the court has been in session.
My learned friends. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words.
As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best as I can. But still, it feels though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh?
Good gracious! Explain yourself, Counsel. Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly. The recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let these accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten feckless gouger? Feckless? Gouger? You're supposed to be defending me! 'Tis a wicked plot! 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so 'tis!
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies such as... To start with, a storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seats. When the police investigated the omnibus, This compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylights. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is a result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus? Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? I have no idea, honestly. Let's make a save. Just in case, probably not gonna need it, let's be real. I have no idea. If I'm honest, I don't remember what I examined when in the omnibus. Oh wait, no we can. Right. See, the thing was, was there a third thing though? My lord.
Yes, counsel.
There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, it's...
Objection!
Silence, Mr. McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial?
Got it!
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom.
Good lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel.
Well said.
Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that that was a very careless slip of the tongue.
I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. Ah! This trial is over! Mr. McGilded? I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now. But you're the defendant. 'Tis over, I tell ye. Oh. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. 'Tis all a nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there, now. Well. And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good for nothing rape by the belly has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I'd better think I thought better of Lord Van Zix. Well, my lord?
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. In the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zieks, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now? With all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes I'm gonna say the defendant could be guilty. I actually think the defendant could actually be guilty in this. I'm here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent.
Good gracious me! Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question? Are you of sound mind?
Oh, 'twas a glad decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was a glad decision. What? Hey, Coral. Yep, reading a lot. I must say, I didn't expect quite an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still, here, have this for your troubles. Ah. Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you have done, so you have. What do you mean? 'Tis just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did you put it now? Not more than a formality. How you doing, Coral? Hope you're doing well today.
I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake?
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said. Doing okay. The stinking rich are always guilty of something. Mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us Lovely Park.
Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection.
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Yeah, so I ended up recording a vid this morning for speedrun pseudo marathon thing that's happening next week, so it's not gonna be like a live event. So then I ate and my throat didn't like the food. Oh yeah, it's very similar to this, I will say. It was good enough for the VOD, so I was happy with it. I had one really good run last night, but the capture card wasn't working, so I was not happy. I did have a run from last night that I would have used in case, but I was like, I'm sure I can bang one out in the morning and be better. So.
Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection.
But wait. When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, The jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What?
Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Do you mean to tell me this has all been a great waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Agnes McGilded.
Good grief! You've more to say to me, have you?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded,
Not guilty. Yay? Yay, I guess? I can't believe it! This is an outrage. They should have examined the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end. With the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. I thought there was going to be another line after, to be honest. 18th of February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Law, Antechamber, excuse me. Oh. That certainly was a long trial. Ah. Yes, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mr. Sato. Thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. Trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did. Mr. McGilded. Ah, and that girl was with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh? What stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How'd I walk out of there a free man, then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. It is water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing is resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellas at Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort out any way they tears. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. Anna, be whist. You're a humble people, are you? You're from the East? Well, if you insist. But you have this still, you know. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom?
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection.
Sorry? What inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing me best help where I can. It is a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, very well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
And there he goes. Free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too.
Don't move.
Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, do you mind putting that thing down?
You're a grown-up.
Sorry? I ate all grown-ups.
Ah, there you are.
Oh, even smaller, okay.
Naughty, running off like that.
Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to this trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha. Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good day to you. Well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor? Well, no more smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all? I just took my eyes off for it for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted with the telegraphic beacon. What's it? What? I have no idea what this girl's talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory. What for? To apologize, of course, silly, to my technician. What? You mean, say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I'll listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh, good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. Fairly sure that what she wants is to not get shot by that massive gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yes, you're right. But where to? Oh. We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings. But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. Not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person's soul just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. Or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case is far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. Oh. This can't be.
I got the judge's voice semi-close for not hearing it. I think Van Zeeks is not close, though. Alright. Let's save. Let's raid out. There is going to be... Hopefully, there is going to be the Fast Food Friday tonight. Obviously, if there's not enough participation, it won't happen. But, you know, we'll see what happens. That should be 7:30 Eastern. If that does not happen or you guys are unable to make that, I will be back on Monday, around noon Eastern. Hopefully, it won't be as late of a start as today was because, geez, that was. Gonna raid Faye, working on Elden Ring. She's mainly gonna be chatting as she plays, so the focus isn't necessarily on her playing. It's gonna be chatting with the chat. So let's say hi to her. Thanks everybody that was here watching, chatting, lurking. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Tuesday is officially going to be a start late, possibly no stream day. That's when I've got the sample collection day. Is there anything else? Not that I can think of. Monday, we may start up a new game. It's probably either going to be continuing Half-Life or Indie. I will determine that once we get closer. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Again, if I don't see you tonight. Oh, there was one other thing. Bad Movie Night. Is that tomorrow or is that next? That's next week. It was this past Friday, Saturday. That's right. I'm a mess. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.